Time for another Silver Ship of State update. And this bike here is an old Indian. I don't know if everybody knows what the hell that is. Probably not. But it's a good representation of our global economy. You know, it's putting along pretty sadly, but still underlyingly it has its strength below the surface in the looks and what the appearances are. What's going to be coming up this week? Okay, we have the first week in October, and what always happens in the first week of every month is you get all the statistics from the prior month. So we're going to see what's going to be coming out, how everything went for September 2011, and those statistics will be revealed coming up this week. Now, I was trying to look up tonight, you know, as to what the PMI data is preliminary. It looks like, you know, the big one, which would be China. China looks like it's still in contraction, but not as fast or as bad a contraction as it was in August. But, you know, my instincts and senses, and I'm not really basing this by gut feeling, but more common sense, is telling me that that is probably not accurate. It's probably a little worse than that. And we'll be able to tell basically when HSBC's numbers come out, because Hong Kong Shanghai Bank comes out with their own PMI, and it's usually lower than what the official government stuff is. But there's a little factoid out there that points that China's economy is doing pretty bad. The fact is that in the exports are at the lowest level in 42 months. The lowest level, exports are at the lowest level in 3.5 years or 42 months. So, you know, that's telling you something there. That's a biggie to me. And, you know, you have to think about it. It's like, where's the biggest export market for China? Europe, right? Where's another big export market? United States. But the biggest export market's in Europe, and Europe is actually doing very bad. You can see all over the news, you know, austerity, riots, and everything else. So another thing coming out this week, you'll also hear about labor statistics, unemployment statistics. Also, there's going to be a big bond auction by Spain, and that's going to actually affect the markets a great deal, depending on how well that goes or not. So we can see some seesawing. Now, there's no FOMC meeting, but Ben Bernanke's supposed to talk someplace, and that guy, you know, he's like God when he talks. You know, he can sink this guy can go out there and say a couple sentences, you know, every day and sink the whole economy. I mean, it's like he's a freaking dictator as far as the economy goes. I mean, that's not maybe necessarily that he's bad himself, but that's just what happens. The Federal Reserve has got too damn much power. That's quite obvious because Ben Bernanke makes or breaks the markets. You know, it's almost like the hell with the fundamentals, right? So, you know, here, you know, this was like right off the public chart from I'll post these links so you can see what they are. So, you know, a few days from now, you'll be able to see what the actual PMI data is. Now, PMI data usually means if the manufacturing index is going down. Now, it's a public chart. Anybody can look it up. It's Bloomberg, right? Usually it means if things are going down, industrial commodities should be decreasing in price. But that's not what happened over the last 2 months. And the reason is they went up is because of QE. It wasn't because of industrial demand. It was because of QE. And the speculators, it's like a combination. You know, everybody jumps on one side of the ship and they take off in a rocket or some garbage because Ben Bernanke said stuff. So sometimes the metals get too far ahead of themselves. Now, what I'm thinking is the metals are going to keep going up till all through the year and probably into very early of 2013. And, you know, I keep saying, you know, if Jim Rogers is saying that 2013 is going to be horrible and Mark Farber's saying it's going to be horrible, I believe it. And, you know, there's other ones out there talking about market crashes, stock market crashes. That's another area, too. You know, Dow is over 13,000. It shouldn't even be over 10,000 with the statistics we got here. You know, we're in contraction. Why the hell is, you know, unemployment's high, right? The employed in the freaking United States is actually kind of low, right? So why is it that, you know, the stock market's so high? because the government's putting it up. The plunge protection team is keeping it up. So I don't know. Maybe that's legit. I kind of smell something up with that too. It shouldn't be that high. I mean, you're looking at what's going on with all the farming too and agriculture because of the drought. Droughts in Russia too. Droughts in South America. Problems even with too much, weather extremes in Europe. So I don't know. If you look back in the 20s, a lot of these things happened before. There's all these signals out there before they had a stock market crash. Now, I don't want to say this like there's going to be a stock market crash next week or next month. But the market does not really attach with the economy. It isn't. It's kind of what's going on. It's the same kind of deal as in one of the 20s, right? They had the signs out there. That may be the case. I don't know. And I was pointing out about this Baltic Dry Index here too. This is global shipping, right? It's low. So if you look back here at the beginning of the year, which was like say the very beginning of February 2012, that was a 26-year low for the Baltic Dry Index shipping. Now we're a little higher than that right now, but it's still low. It's still low. So combine that with the fact that Chinese exports are at a 3.5-year low. Yeah, I'd say there's problems going on. And, we saw commodities go up this is the commodity index, another public chart off of Bloomberg. I'll just make people aware of this because you got to think, though. You just can't look at these charts dry. You got to think. Commodities are going up because of QE. They're not going up because of manufacturing demand. That's why I'm thinking if silver gets up to record highs, I'm definitely getting out of all my electronic accounts. Definitely. Commodities all fly up here in the next few months, and they should. They should because of what came out from the FOMC meeting. If you look, here's the press release, right? This is a public press release right off the Federal Reserve's government site, September 13, 2012, and he's talking about buying right here. Additional agency mortgage-backed securities at a pace of $40 billion a month. They're just going to keep doing it, and they're going to keep interest rates low till they feel that things are straightened out. So commodities are going to have to go good, and this is the way I look at things. I'm looking at things relative. The commodities get up to record heights, and it's getting around early 2013. Hey, I'd be tempted to hold on because I'm greedy, just like everybody else. But I'm probably going to let go of all the electronic stuff. Maybe a little bit of the physical silver too. Not much of the physical, but a little bit. Because I should actually think about fluctuations too. But I got physical in case of real emergencies, so that's the deal with that. Now, as far as what Obama says, I think he's relative still. I don't know if he's going to be president next year. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. I heard that garbage about Lindsey Williams talking like the elite are pissed off at him. I know the elite are pissed off at him. George Soros is disappointed in him. Actually, as a matter of fact, Obama didn't even meet with George Soros at one time when George Soros wanted him to or some garbage because, I don't know, he's getting like a big ego punk or something. So Soros was hurt, Like I really give a shit if Soros is hurt. But it's telling you that, he's basically, pissing off a lot of people. I mean, what can I tell you? People that put him in power, right? So, but I have to say this because if the elite wanted to really get rid of Obama, they can. Easily. There's always dirt on people. They can really pull out a lot of stuff on this guy and really slam him to the ground. I haven't seen that yet. You know what I think? I think the elite got both bases covered. If Obama wins, the elite wins. If Romney wins, the elite wins. Maybe the certain elite don't like Obama, but other ones do. That's the way I look at it. So, I looked at what Lindsey Williams said, and I'm thinking to myself, maybe that's the oil elite. That's a couple niche people he knows. Romney is a piece of garbage, too. Romney flip-flops left and right. I'm not voting for neither one of those guys because the way I look at it, the elite won if you vote for Obama or Romney. Vote for third party Gary Johnson, you know. I don't know, maybe I'm throwing away my vote, but hey, it's my vote to throw away, right? I mean, if a lot of people think independent, which they don't, they always go with one of the major ones. That's why we always lose, because the elite got both parties covered, you know. But anyway, here's something Obama said, and this kind of points out that he's in a hip pocket of the elite too, because no president makes his own speeches. And this was Obama's speech at the UN, United Nations General Assembly, just a few days ago. You know, it was less than a week ago. Couple little tidbits out of it, very important. A nuclear-armed Iran is not a challenge that can be contained. In other words, Iran, you're not having nukes, period. No, I mean, period. That's what he said. Now, I don't know, is that his opinion? I don't think anything is his opinion. You know why? Because he's a politician. He's out for Obama. Just like Romney's out for Romney. Romney will flip-flop, Obama will flip-flop. Obama flip-flopped on medicinal marijuana. You know, his campaign promise. Now he's cracking down like worse than George Bush. Romney, he hates the stuff in the first place. He's playing like what the oil companies want, so... I mean, like I said, the elite win if either one of those guys win anyway. The United States will do what we must to stop Iran acquiring nuclear weapons. That's another Obama quote from his speech a few days ago. It sounds like war, don't it? Now, I don't want people to worry about this garbage too much with Iran because not that I got a crystal ball and I know every damn thing there is, but you know what? It is a fact that the United States does have a hell of a lot of electronic gizmos out there that could probably jam every defense Iran has and put them out of business before it even start. Probably. Where I think there's going to be a problem with World War III, it may come from China and competition over major resources like oil. Now, the way to stop World War III is to grow hemp. But it's not going to happen. Well, it could happen, I guess. Everybody just got a plant and just start growing it. I mean, that's one way to do it. But I don't think nobody's got the balls to do that. The lemmings won't do it. I mean, if everybody did it, I mean, they can't put 300 million people in the United States in jail, But, the way I look at it, though, that ain't going to happen because nobody's got the balls to do that. But that would create world peace because it would put the oil companies out of business. If you grow industrial hemp. But, the deal is, when you got a racket, and it's like, if you have oil wells and you have exploration teams and all this garbage like that, and you got a market because everybody's dependent upon this stuff, well, you can rake them over the coals all you want because you're the one that owns the liquid gold that goes out to the masses, and they have to have it. It's like a drug. Oil's a drug. Industrial hemp is a plant. That's the way I look at it. But industrial hemp isn't even a drug in any way. But, I mean, that's the one way to look at it, too. Oil's a drug, and the drug dealers are the oil barons and the companies and stuff that own it. They got to keep that racket going. It's an exclusive racket, so that's why they don't want industrial hemp. But there's going to be a major fight over this oil between nations. That's probably how World War III is going to start. Probably not over Iran. I know Iran's got oil, but I don't know. The Iran thing, whenever that occurs, it may not last as long as people think it is. I know. They thought this back in Iraq, the end of the world, and all this stuff. I heard that, Desert Storm. I was around in the Marine Corps at that time. And, it was over fast as all hell. I couldn't believe it. It may not go that way like with Iran, but I don't see how those guys could win. So I think what's going to be the major problem long range with war is with China, competition over resources. And you know what? That's what's going to make your silver go right through the moon. That is going to do it. And it's going to take some time. Now, I want to get into some other videos. Like I was doing some on motorcycles. I know a lot of people ain't into that garbage. But I want to do some other things, besides health and food storage and, doing ozone for your health and all that type of stuff. I know the EPA don't like that, but hey, Dr. Atkins used to use the ozone for healing, all that stuff too. So, I don't think that guy was stupid, But anyway, I want to get into some other things. I'm probably going to see if I have enough time to do a video on doing some construction stuff. You know, if people want to build something that can handle a hurricane or typhoon or one of those tornadoes or something like that, or it's something that always bugs me because I don't think, well, it's good to have some backup things like that, but on the internet, if you put something about Planet Nibiru, I don't pay attention to that garbage, but say for instance, Planet Nibiru is coming or something, it's going to wipe out the Earth. If you really believe that, you know what I'd be doing? I'd be out there building something that I can jump into. So if the planet got wiped out, I'll be fine, I mean, that's a little bit crazy, but you know what I'm saying. I'd be trying to do something about it. I don't believe that's going to happen. I think the major threat to people in this country, that comes out, out of left field is either earthquakes, hurricanes, and tornadoes. Right there. Usually weather or something coming from the earth. So, I don't know. I'm going to do something on that. As far as like heading to the hills and all this kind of garbage, forget about that stuff. That's getting crazy. But I want to do some more practical videos because this silver thing is like, it's going to take a few more years before the damn stuff really gets up to the stratosphere where it should be. And what it's going to take is the 99% having a light bulb go on their head and say, damn, I should get some physical silver. That's what's going to drive the price up a lot. Right there. And it's going to be like you're going to be afraid to sell it at that time because you're like realizing why is everybody buying silver is because the fiat money's going to oblivion. But I'm going to have to look very carefully at what asset I need to put, I mean, of course, when you sell, you get fiat, but I'm going to have to look very carefully at what asset to go into at that time. And like I said, I'd probably sell a little bit of physical even, but with the intention of trying to guess to buy it back. And that's only if it hits record highs. It's going to have to be up there around close to 60 at least. So, and I'm talking some. But anyway, I want to keep things real and keep some other updates out here besides just talking about estimating which way the economy's going. Because most people are just holding physical silver. They're not trying to guess the markets. I'm trying to do both. And but I realize, what's more useful to people is health and food storage, water purification, that type of stuff. And I'm going to do a little bit on construction too, where you can build something very strong, very, very strong. So I've been out today getting lots of 4x4s pressure treated, lots of bags of 80 pounds of bags of concrete, and I'll be doing that stuff for tomorrow. Well, see you later. Bye.